Did we really evolve from monkeys? If you trace the lines on your own hands, the quiet folds of skin that hold your past, you might begin to wonder where those lines really began. Not just the ones from childhood, or from the years that tested you, but the lines drawn long before you ever existed. Lines carved across time itself. Tonight, we're going to follow those lines back. Far back. Back to a question so simple it sounds almost childish, and yet it carries the weight of our entire story. Did we really evolve from monkeys? This question has been thrown around classrooms, arguments, and comment sections for decades, usually with a laugh, or a scoff, or a shrug, but if you ask it earnestly, and follow the answer honestly, it pulls you into one of the most astonishing truths about what it means to be human. Because the real story, it's stranger, more beautiful, and more humbling than anything you learned in school. And it definitely doesn't start with a monkey. It starts with a mystery. Imagine Earth, not as the blue marble we know, but as a breathing wilderness of ancient forests, volcanic skies, and creatures that look almost familiar. Not exactly human, not quite ape. Something in between. Something that walked the line between worlds. These early ancestors didn't know they were writing the opening chapters of our story. They were simply surviving, avoiding predators, searching for food, raising young. And yet, every tiny choice they made, to stand a little straighter, to reach a little farther, to gather, to socialize, nudged evolution in a new direction. And here's the first twist. Humans did not descend from the monkeys that swing through trees today. We didn't evolve from gorillas or chimpanzees either. Instead, all of us, chimps, gorillas, monkeys, humans, are branches of the same ancient tree. We are cousins, not descendants. The real question isn't, did we evolve from monkeys? It's who did we evolve with? And the answer is hidden in the fossils found scattered across Africa. Picture the dry heat of the Great Rift Valley. Paleontologists on their knees, brushing dust away from something impossibly delicate. A tooth A fragment of skull. A femur curved in a way that shouldn't exist unless the creature once walked upright. These pieces belong to beings like Australopithecus afarensis, whom we nickname Lucy A creature, who lived over 3 million years ago. Small, agile, and caught between two worlds. 1 foot on the ground, 1 hand still in the trees. Lucy wasn't human. But she wasn't not human either. She was a reminder that evolution isn't a staircase. It's a river with branching streams, and we are standing on one of those branches, looking back, trying to trace where the water came from. Around 2 million years later, another face enters the story. Homo habilis, the handyman, the first in our lineage to shape tools. Imagine their hands, steady, curious, trying something new, not because they were told to, but because they wondered. That spark, curiosity, may be the closest thing we have to a genetic signature. Then came Homo erectus, long-legged travelers who left Africa and walked into new continents. For the first time, humans, or something close, began to spread across the planet. They learned to control fire. They formed early communities. They probably sat around flames at night, staring into the same kind of glow we still gather around today. These were not monkeys. They were people, not in the way we define people now, but in a way that mattered. But here's the part that almost feels poetic. For most of human history, we weren't alone. We shared the earth with other humans, Neanderthals, Denisovans, and others whose names we may never learn. Beings who laughed, hunted, painted, loved entire species that walked beside us, before fading like silhouettes at dusk. And in our DNA today, there are echoes of them. Proof that we didn't replace them immediately, we lived with them, connected with them, intertwined our stories with theirs. So when we ask, did we evolve from monkeys? We're overlooking a far more profound truth. We are the last survivors of a once crowded family, the only ones left to remember them. But there's another layer to this story, one that hits closer to home. Because the creatures we call monkeys today, the ones we point to when making jokes about evolution, they are not primitive. They are not waiting to become human. They have been evolving for as long as we have. They followed their own path just as we followed ours. Every species alive today is the result of success, not failure. They are not what we used to be. They are what they were meant to become. And so are we. If you zoom out, far beyond bones and branches, you start to see a pattern that feels almost spiritual. Evolution isn't a ladder or a competition. It's a story about connection, about survival and adaptation and chance, about small moments that ripple across time, a mother protecting her offspring, a group sharing food, someone daring to explore a little farther than before. These moments shaped us. They shaped our minds, our bodies, our empathy, our intelligence, everything that makes us human. We weren't sculpted suddenly. We weren't designed all at once. We were formed by millions of years of trial, error, disaster, and triumph. In a way, humanity is a miracle, but not the kind people imagine. Not a miracle of instant creation, a miracle of endurance. So, did we evolve from monkeys? No. The truth is far more humbling and far more powerful. We evolved with them, from ancestors we all share. We come from a long line of survivors who adapted, changed, and persevered through unimaginable odds. We are the latest chapter in a story that began before the first tree root ever cracked the soil. And maybe the real question isn't where we came from, but where we're going, because evolution didn't stop with us. Every choice we make, every discovery, every conflict, every act of kindness shapes what comes next. We aren't just the product of evolution, we are its continuation. One day, long after our names are forgotten, someone or something may look back at us the way we look back at Lucy. They may wonder who we were, what we struggled with, what we dreamed of, and maybe, just maybe, they'll follow the lines on their hands and trace them back to us, the last humans of an ancient family, the storytellers of Earth, the species that looked up at the stars and wondered who they might become.